What's up, B2? Capital G here, talking about the ARG Circuit Series in this video and some of the absolutely crazy shenanigans that they got going on over there, and really asking the question, how much validity is there in an ARG top? In the Yu-Gi-Oh community, is this something that we should still give credence to? Is it something that you still deem credible when somebody says, oh yeah, I topped 16 an ARG or something of that nature? Are ARGs still relevant when it comes to like a competitive accomplishment? That's what I'm asking in this video. And let me just say at the beginning of this video, I have absolutely no problems or qualms with Ultra Reality Games, Jim McMahon, or the ARG Circuit Series itself, or even it existing and what they try to accomplish over there. And before anybody tries to say, you just ate ARG, you've never been to any, actually I've been to 2 ARG events. I had a great time at both of them. I went to an ARG just last year in Richmond, Virginia, and in 2015, this was right after like new challengers came out, I went to one right in the city that I live in, Raleigh, North Carolina. This is not because of any negative experience or anything like that I'm making this video. And you know, I've actually seen some of the stuff that Jim posts online on like Facebook. That dude is off the chain. So I'm also going to point out that there's probably like a 75% chance that I get banned from ARG Circuit Series just because I made this video. So if I am going to get banned, that's fine, Jim. Just do me a favor. Go ahead and shoot me the email. Like, don't, you know, if I go to ARG Charlotte, North Carolina, next month, don't make me drive all the way to Charlotte just to tell me you're not allowed to play at my event because of that stupid video you made. Just go ahead and email me, which I think would be a little unfair because, I mean, I talk shit about Konami at nauseum. So many videos I've made ripping into them. I have never been on the suspended players list. Number one, and these are not things that I know 100% as a fact that ARG still allows, but I know as a fact that they did allow in the past. Number one, ARG had allowed, they did allow players who were currently banned from Konami events to enter their events. Now, I understand it's a business, you're trying to maximize your profits, but people like Peter Chang are banned from Konami events for a reason, because they were caught cheating, they were caught either, you know, stacking their deck or drawing extra cards, etc., etc. And when you allow these players in this event, it kind of gives the message that, you know, don't worry if you got caught cheating at Konami events. That's their event. You can come over here and try to cheat, and maybe we'll ban you if we catch you, but you're allowed to play over here. That's one of the things that I've always thought is just kind of a bad look and a little shady. The second thing is, I know historically they have allowed people to actually use points to buy rounds, which I think is utterly ridiculous, and I think it just goes against the complete, like, it goes against the spirit of like actually competition, or it goes against the spirit of competition. There we go. That's a good way to rephrase it. I mean, if you're basically buying, like, not victories, but I don't know if you got a free point or if you got a victory or something like that because of your accomplishments at previous ARGs, then it's like it waters down your entire accomplishment. It's like you didn't really go, you know, 6-2 at this event. You didn't go 7-1. You really went like 5-1 because one of your victories was just given to you because you cashed in some arbitrary amount of points because you play at the ARG Circuit Series a lot. That's just utterly ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, you don't get that at Konami events. I don't get why you get that at ARG events. And then I know that they've allowed players to intentionally draw in the final rounds, which is also terrible because now you're having players decide the fate of, you know, the final standings without actually even dueling, and that's ridiculous to me. It used to happen. I'm not gonna act like it didn't happen during, you know, 5Ds and GX, but Konami, when they figured out that people were doing it, they were like, no, you guys can't tie. You have to actually just play the duel. If you want to give this person a win, that's perfectly fine, but you have to actually duel. We cannot have you guys intentionally drawing. So those are three things that I've always had qualms with, that I've always had issues with the ARG Circuit Series. But what happened at ARG Las Vegas over the weekend is just like some crazy shit. I couldn't even believe this. And before anybody thinks, oh, Cap G, there you go, starting them drama videos, this was already posted on Facebook, which, you know, Jim McMahon responded to. This was posted on Reddit, where I saw a lot of people talking about this. And I don't know, I think a lot of people feel the same way that I do, that this is completely unacceptable. So you guys know that it's fairly routine for the ARG to release release their top 16 decks, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, even if the events aren't that big, they release their decks so you can check them out. And I'm looking through and I'm just kind of seeing how many people played evenly matched to see if I need to start main decking Mind Crush. And I noticed that so many of the people in the top 16 were like either cheating, or they had marked sleeves, or they had different size sleeves. I'm not kidding, guys, when I say, or I'm not exaggerating when I say that nearly like over a quarter of the players who made top 16 had some type of infraction where you'd say that guy is cheating, or where they just would have been immediately disqualified from a Konami event. I mean, I guess on the, if I wanted to go to the extreme, I could say that maybe a third of these players got caught just straight up cheating, including the guy who ended up winning the entire event. I think his name is Joel White. He's a kid who played Trickstar. So I'm just going to scroll through and I'm going to talk about this really briefly. And I think that it's just absolutely unacceptable. Now on Facebook, they came out and they said, and I'm not quoting them verbatim here, they came out and they said, you know, they kind of addressed it. And my thing is like, how are you addressing it if you didn't punish them when you caught them? I mean, let's not all act like don't treat us like kids. Don't treat us like idiots here. If you wanted to keep them in because you want them to keep playing at ARGs, and you're basically saying, okay, we can't prove you're cheating, that's fine. But to have no punishment or to just make them re-sleeve is kind of ridiculous, right? You had one Spiral player, actually, I'll post pictures, or I'll post a link so you guys can check it out, and I may have pictures in the video. You had one Spiral guy who had and I'm reading this exactly as they wrote it down, sleeves bigger on Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. Okay, so that seems pretty intentional to me. I mean, you want me to believe that you just bust open a pack of, you know, brand new sleeves, and that there were three sleeves that were bigger than all the rest, and they just so happened to be on the most prominent, you know, the most prominently played hand trap in the entire meta. Not buying that. I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna say that you were cheating. I'm scrolling down. We see that World Chalice actually made it into the top 16 as well, which actually probably would have been video worthy just alone on that. It's kind of the first big breakthrough for the World Chalice as an archetype. But then you look down and it says pin mark on the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine, which I believe is his only, actually it is. It's his only trap card in his entire deck. Now he posted on Reddit that, you know, he had pins in his box, and throughout the course of the day, somehow it got marked. And it's like, again, how dumb do you really believe that we are? You played a 42 card deck. You only played one trap card in the entire deck, and you want us to believe that that was the only card that got marked. Not buying it. I'm going to say that you were probably cheating as well. Let's keep going. You had another player who was playing, let's see, this is 60 cards. It's a Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss build. One potential mark on Ash Blossom. It says corner bin. This one I actually think could possibly be legitimate. If you play at events and you don't change your sleeves regularly, I mean, it is possible to get a bent corner, but for it to only be on his Ash Blossoms, again, that's where it makes you think, I mean, was this legitimate, or were you, you know, trying to get to, you know, the most played hand trap in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh right now? So I look at that one and I'm like a little suspiciously. You go to Joel White, who's the guy who won the event, and this one is just blatant. It doesn't even say possible. It just says it says one marked Max C. Awesome. So the guy who ended up winning the event played with a marked Max C throughout God knows how long for the tournament, or even if they caught this in the deck check, doesn't even matter. It means the guy went into the event trying to stack his Max C. So that's awesome. He just wants to stack the most powerful hand trap in all of Yu-Gi-Oh. Seems legitimate. Let me think. There was, I believe, a Pendulum player who had an infraction on here as well. This should be what's it called. Oh yeah, they wrote it upside down. This was the Pendulum guy. I'm trying to read this. Multiple marked sleeves. And I think it goes without saying, this can't happen. Not if you want your event to be looked at as a credible Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Not if you want to be taken seriously like the YCS event. I mean, there's a reason why YCS events get like 1,000 players and ARG events get like 150. It's because of stuff like this. I mean, it's inconceivable that a fucking quarter of the top cut got literally caught red-handed cheating. Like, how does that happen? I'll give you guys a quick story from the 5Ds days, right? There was an event. It was my first first regional top 8 ever. I remember it like it was yesterday. I played Black Wings, I top 8'd, and this was when they took top 8 matches like seriously, and now that you just coin flip and whatnot, who really even gives a fuck for an extra binder or whatever crap they give you now. But they would take your deck, they would deck check you after you topped, and I remember the judge telling me, Cap, you're good, but these sleeves are way too worn. We're gonna need you to change your sleeves. And I was like, all right, cool. Before the vendors wrap up, I went over there, I bought some sleeves, and I showed him the sleeves, and I was like, are these good? And he was like, yeah. I gave him the sleeves. He sleeved all my entire deck, and I went to another event 1 week later after topping that event, and it was the same exact judging staff, and I believe it was in round 7, they got my sleeves, and they were like, these look like these sleeves are marked, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, I gave you these to sleeve with, and I was like, wait a minute, how can these be marked if you literally saw me buy them last week? And I knew that I hadn't marked the cards, and he was like, yeah, I don't think that you're stacking, Cap, but I'm gonna still DQ you from the tournament anyways. And I didn't throw a big fuss or try to uphill it or anything, because number one, I was 4-3 in the tournament. I wasn't going to top, and I was like, all right, I guess this just gives me a reason to go home early. And number two, they didn't submit it to Konami. I wasn't on the suspended players list for cheating. The judge didn't think I cheated. He was just like, this is protocol, and we're just gonna have to DQ from the tournament. But if I got DQ'd in that situation, you're telling me you caught people with marked Ash Blossoms, or excuse me, a marked Max C and a marked trap card being the only trap in his deck, and all this other shit, and you just let these people continue playing? Like, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of a joke, and I kind of want to know what you guys think, because if you have this many people who got caught red-handed cheating, like, you got to drop the hammer on them. Like, you can't let money be a major influence, and it can't reduce your integrity as a tournament. So whatever you guys think, I know this video was kind of long, but this was something that a lot of people were talking about on Sunday, and I thought that I would just go ahead and chime in. And actually, as I looked through the players list, Alexander William Simo did go to this event. He just scrubbed out. 9 points is no, he had 10 points, so that's 3-1, I believe. If that was after round 4, that'd be beasting. Simo would be in beast mode, but not so great for the final results. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.